Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Reading Time. Today, we're going to continue what we started yesterday with the book on elephants. And you remember that we've been talking about reading to learn the lingo, learning the technical words. Okay, so we have to expect and look out for keywords, right? What we think they're going to talk about. Okay, and we have to use the different features in the book. They're not just going to go from sentence to sentence, they're going to show us information in different ways. So we want to learn technical words, but we also want to try and figure out what's coming before we actually read it. So we're going to continue with the book that we started yesterday on elephants. Now, yesterday, before we started reading, we brainstormed. We thought a little bit about what words we might find. And we thought of the words tusks and ears and trunk. And you know what? We found all of those just like we expected. Okay, so that was great. I was surprised by some of the things I learned, but I wasn't shocked to see any information about these things. Well, today we're going to go through the second part of this book. I wonder what other information might be in there. Hmm. You can pause if you need a moment. I have to think about this. Well, I'm going to think back to the tiger books that we've read, and they told us how tigers travel or how they live. And we said if we saw a group of them in the tiger book, we learned that it was a streak or an ambush. So maybe they'll teach us something about groups of elephants here. And in the tiger book, they told us that babies were called cubs. I wonder what babies would be called here. And, oh, you know what? They haven't talked in this book about food yet. We know that tigers eat meat. What do elephants eat? So it's possible we'll see something about group, food, or baby today. Let's take a look. And just like the other pages in the book that we've seen, it starts with a question. How many elephants live in a herd? Ah, there we go. And let's go to our sentence. Elephants live in a herd that can have up to 200 other elephants. So even if you knew the word herd and you knew that elephants lived in herds, did you know that there could be up to 200? 200! That's amazing. Thumbs up if you just learned that. My thumb is up. Okay. And of course, we have our Did You Know box. Did you know elephant herds are led by the matriarch elephant? That's gotta be a new word. Now, the word is in bold. They're not telling us on this page what a matriarch is. And I'm looking around, I'm looking at the picture. I don't really see any clues. So, the author does have it written in bold letters, which means it's going to be explained at some point. We'll find out. Let's move on. Ah, okay, and here we go. What do elephants eat? Okay, we knew this was coming. And let's go to our sentence. Elephants spend most of the day feeding on trees and plants. Now, look at the bottom. It looks like it's showing us, well, it says here feeding time, okay? And it looks like they're going to show us a bunch of the things that elephants eat. They're not just going to tell us. All right, let's look at this little question here. It says, can you name each food an elephant feeds on? Well, let's see. Roots, fruit, bark, grass, nuts. Okay. And then it says here in the middle, elephants spend up to 18 hours feeding a day. eating 18 hours a day. I mean, they have big bodies, so it makes sense. But 18 hours, and then to help us out, look what they do. They tell us that one day is 24 hours. So now I'm wondering, how much time do they spend sleeping? Because 24 minus 18, what does that equal? That's 6. Do they sleep for 6 hours and don't they play? Okay, and then of course we have our Did You Know box. So let's go over here. Did you know elephants are herbivores? Some people pronounce this herbivores, but it's actually herbivores, and need to eat a lot of food each day. Oh, herbivores. This is like matriarch on the previous page. It's in bold. It's a pretty big word. Well, remember what the book told us. Words in bold will be explained in the glossary. Okay. And we've seen a word like this before with the tigers. We said they were carnivores. Okay, let's move on. Ah, there's our question. What is a baby elephant called? How did we figure this out? Let's go down to our sentence. A mother elephant will stay close and feed milk to her calf for 3 years. That's that's a long time, actually. Now, let's look at the pictures and the captions. It says here, having a drink. Oh, so it looks like the elephant's getting some water. And play fighting. Okay. And having a rest. That's cute. This little one's resting. It looks like at mommy's feet. And staying close to mother. Oh, they do act like we do, don't they? And let's go over to the Did You Know box. Did you know elephants talk to each other using low sounds we can't hear? Whoa, that's so cool. Okay, and look at this. We have the word calf in bold letters. So a tiger has cubs, an elephant has a calf. Okay, let's move on. Here's another question. Why are elephants in trouble? That's a really good question. Let's go down to our sentence. Lots of elephants are shot and killed so people can sell their trunks. Oh no. And the question here is, what will happen to the number of elephants if this carries on? Ooh, and we have some chart up here, some diagram that can help us. It says over 100 elephants are killed every day. Poaching alert. A poaching alert. Well, they're not telling us what poaching means, but we do see a lot of tusks there. And they did just tell us that elephants are killed because of their tusks. So could poaching mean possibly that an animal is killed for some reason so that we can get something valuable from it? And then all the way at the top, we have a lot of big words. It says here, conservation status. And this is a little difficult to see. Least concern, near threatened, vulnerable, endangered. Well, maybe we know what this word means, maybe not, but it does have the word danger in it. And that's what's circled for the elephant. We know they're in trouble. Critically endangered, extinct in the wild, which means you can't find it out in nature. It's only in a zoo or in an aquarium or something. And then extinct means it is gone forever. Okay. And we've got our Did You Know box. Did you know an elephant's tusks are made from something called ivory? Okay, so this is kind of a sad page, but it's important to know. Okay, and now this is pretty interesting. There's no question here. It says here elephant puzzle. Can you spot all four of the herbivores? Are we sure we know what an herbivore is? And then it says, can you find all the safari animals? So these are fun little activities, but we have a very important page that we haven't seen yet. This talks about the safari books and different books that they have. Oh, look, they've got one on tigers too. And cheetahs. Oh, there are lots of interesting ones here. And the dolphins. I think I have this dolphins book and more, but there's still an important page that I want to see. Aha! Here it is. Glossary. And it says, can you remember all of the new words we have learned? So this is interesting. The glossary is something that you can read when you get to the end of the book, or while you're reading, if you see a difficult word, you can flip to the back. A lot of books don't have a glossary, but it's so useful. And authors do this sometimes when they don't want to put too many keywords. Like in the tiger book, we had a tiger term. They don't want to put that sometimes on the page. They have other things they want to talk about, but they give us the information at the back. So, mammal, an animal that feeds its babies milk and in most cases has hair or fur. And then a herd, a group of animals living together. Oh, and here's that word matriarch, the oldest and biggest mother in a herd that the other elephants follow. Very interesting. An herbivore, an animal that feeds only on plants. And finally, a calf, the baby or young of a large mammal. Okay, so we could use it for cow also. A cow's baby is also called a calf. Okay, all right, boys and girls, that gets us to the end of this book. Okay, so we expected and looked out for keywords. Okay, we tried to imagine what we were going to see before we saw it. And we used features to help us. We had a glossary. Okay, we had a text box that had short sentences. And this elephant book had lots of labels and little extra boxes. Did you know? And things like that. So now what I want you to do is when you go back to reading your nonfiction books, look for these things. I think most of the books that you have will have at least some of them, and see how many new words you can learn and see if you can imagine what new words you might learn before you actually see them. All right, boys and girls, that's it. The end.